Have you ever just stopped and thought, maybe there's more to this than meets the eye?
You mean like what we see isn't all there is?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're living in this reality, but what if it's just one layer of something way bigger?
You're talking simulation theory, right?
Yeah, basically. But we're not just diving into any old simulation theory today. Welcome, everyone, to the Quantum Soul.
The quantum soul, that's right.
And today we're taking a deep dive into a really intriguing one. It's The Theory of Everything by Thomas Campbell.
Thomas Campbell. Now, he's a former nuclear physicist turned consciousness explorer.
Yeah, and his theory goes way beyond just physics. He tries to explain consciousness, UFOs, out-of-body experiences.
The whole shebang.
Exactly. Like there's this secret button to the universe and we're going to try to find it.
Ambitious, for sure. So what do we have to work with today to unpack this theory?
Well, we've got some excerpts from his work that lay out the basics of his theory.
Okay, so we're diving right into the source material.
Yeah, and our mission today is to break down his ideas, figure out what they really mean, and see how they might apply to our own lives.
Sounds like a plan, because if reality is a simulation like a cosmic game, then understanding the rules could be game-changing.
Exactly. It's not just science fiction either. This stuff is rooted in quantum physics, philosophy, and even the whole UFO phenomena.
We're gonna have to buckle up for this one.
Definitely. It's going to be a wild ride, but we'll break it all down in a way that makes sense. So get ready for some aha moments.
Lots of food for thought. And if you're into spirituality, cutting-edge science, or just love a good mystery, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay tuned for more mind-expanding deep dives.
All right, so Thomas Campbell's theory of everything, he's basically giving us this cosmic treasure map, right?
Yeah, like a set of coordinates for navigating reality. And he suggests that what we experience as this solid physical world is actually just a small part of something way more vast.
Like we're playing a video game with rules we don't even fully comprehend.
Right. And it's so interesting that he comes from this super scientific background, but ends up grappling with these really philosophical questions.
That's what makes him unique. He bridges science and philosophy in a way that's super compelling.
He even connects his theory to quantum physics, where consciousness can actually influence reality.
It's like that double slit experiment where observing the particles changes their behavior.
And he brings in Carl Jung, too, the whole idea of the collective unconscious.
Like we're all connected on this deeper level. It's like we're all playing the same game, just with different avatars.
Exactly. So we've got a lot to unpack here, starting with Campbell's own journey, how he went from nuclear physics to this mind-bending theory.
It's quite a story, actually.
Okay, so picture this. A nuclear physicist working with particle accelerators, trying to unlock the secrets of the atom.
That's about as hardcore science as it gets.
Right. But Campbell, he starts to feel like something's missing. He describes it as physics becoming tedious.
So he's at the top of his game, but feels like it's not enough.
Yeah, and get that the thing that sparks his whole transformation is a pamphlet he sees about needing less sleep.
Pamphlet? Wow, talk about an unexpected catalyst.
Right, it was advertising this meditation technique that supposedly allowed you to sleep less.
And being a busy physicist, I'm sure the idea of more time was appealing.
Definitely. So he starts meditating.
Yeah.
But what he experiences is totally unexpected.
Okay, I gotta hear this. What happens?
Well, he starts visualizing lines of code, like he's inside a computer program, and he's able to debug this code in his mind.
Whoa, hold on. He's debugging code through meditation.
Yeah, it's like he's hacking reality with his mind. The source describes it as an awakening.
That's wild. So he's not having a breakdown, he's having a breakthrough.
Exactly. And what he realizes is that there's more to reality than just the physical stuff. It's like there's this underlying code that governs everything.
And he's able to tap into it through meditation.
Right. It's mind-blowing. So the question becomes, how does a traditional scientist come to this radical conclusion?
His whole journey is fascinating. Let's dive into his background a bit more to understand where he's coming from.
Okay, so as we said, he was a nuclear physicist working with particle accelerators. Pretty cutting-edge stuff.
Yeah, they use those to smash atoms together and study the tiny particles that come out.
Right. And he was good at it. But he felt like traditional science was missing something. He wanted to understand the bigger picture.
I guess when you spend all day looking at tiny particles, you start to wonder about the nature of reality itself.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then, amidst all the demands of his research and studies, he comes across this ad for meditation.
The one that promised less sleep.
Like fate stepped in. He was probably exhausted and overworked.
And who wouldn't want a way to function on less sleep?
So he gives it a shot.
Yeah.
But what he discovers during those meditation sessions is way beyond anything he could have imagined.
He's debugging code in his mind, right?
Yeah, it's like he's tapping into the matrix. But instead of a red pill, it's meditation.
So this direct experience of code becomes the foundation for his theory.
Exactly. He starts to see reality as this giant video game where we're the players and our bodies are just avatars.
So the physical world is like the game's environment and our consciousness is the player.
Right. And he calls calls the larger reality beyond the physical the NPMR, which stands for non-physical matter reality.
So the NPMR is like the game's code, the underlying structure that creates the game world.
And just like a video game, there are rules that govern everything within this simulated environment.
Now, this is where things get really interesting because he connects this idea to quantum physics.
Right, like the idea that observing something can actually change it.
Exactly. It's like our consciousness has a direct impact on reality. And Campbell takes that idea and runs with it.
He basically says that our consciousness isn't just observing reality, it's actively shaping it.
So we're not just passive players in this game. We have the power to influence the game itself.
And he also brings in Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious.
That's the idea that we're all connected on a deeper level, a shared pool of consciousness.
It's like we're all playing the same game, but experiencing it through our individual avatars.
So we're all influencing the game collectively.
Exactly. And this idea of the collective unconscious actually has some parallels with ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions.
Like the idea of a universal soul or a cosmic consciousness.
Right. So Campbell is bringing together these very different fields: science, philosophy, spirituality.
He's trying to create a unified theory that explains everything.
And that's where his theory of everything comes in.
But before we dive into that, I just want to say, if you're enjoying this deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe to The Quantum Soul for more mind-expanding content.
Yes, please subscribe. We love having you here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Campbell's theory of everything. What's the big idea?
Well, it's a bold claim trying to explain everything in the universe. But Campbell's theory is different from what you might expect.
In what way?
Well, most theories of everything focus on physics, right? Like trying to unify all the fundamental forces.
Right, like gravity and electromagnetism.
Exactly. But Campbell goes beyond that. He wants to explain consciousness, spirituality, purpose of life.
Wow, so it's not just about the physical world.
Nope. He's trying to bridge the gap between science and spirituality.
That's ambitious. So his theory of everything is really about everything.
Yeah, he calls it my big toe-y. Big toe for theory of everything.
Okay, I like it. So what makes his toe so big? Why is consciousness so central to his theory?
Well, he believes that consciousness isn't just a product of the brain. It's actually more fundamental than matter.
Whoa, so consciousness comes first and then matter.
Exactly. He's flipping the script on traditional materialism.
So our thoughts and feelings aren't just byproducts of our brains, they're actually creating reality.
In a way, yes. He believes that consciousness is the primary stuff of the universe, and everything we experience is a manifestation of that consciousness.
Okay, that's a huge shift in perspective.
Yeah.
So how does this connect to things like UFOs and out-of-body experiences?
Well, he sees those as evidence that consciousness can operate beyond the physical body.
Like glitches in the Matrix.
Exactly. Like our consciousness can temporarily step outside the simulation, or maybe even interact with other levels of reality.
So he's not just theorizing about consciousness.
Yeah.
He's trying to explain these strange phenomena that traditional science struggles with.
Right. He's trying to create a framework that can account for both the physical and the non-physical.
So let's break down the key elements of his theory.
Okay, so first, what is a theory of everything? A toe.
Well, in simple terms, it's a theory that tries to explain all the phenomena in the universe.
Like a master key that unlocks all the secrets.
Right, but Campbell's toe goes beyond just physics. He includes consciousness, subjective experience, the purpose of life.
It's not just about the laws of nature, but about the meaning and purpose behind those laws.
So he's trying to answer the really big questions that science often avoids.
Exactly. He's not satisfied with just describing how things work. He wants to understand why.
But he makes this distinction between a small toe and a big toe.
What's the difference?
Well, a small toe is limited to physics. It's about finding a set of equations that can describe all the forces in the universe.
Like a grand unified theory of physics.
Right, but a big toe-y like Campbell's includes consciousness, evolution, spirituality.
It's like the difference between understanding the rules of a game and understanding why the game exists in the first place.
Exactly, and for Campbell, consciousness is the key to it all.
Okay, so we've established that consciousness is central to his theory, but what does that mean practically?
Well, he believes that consciousness is more fundamental than matter.
More fundamental.
How so? He's saying that consciousness is the source of everything, that all of our experiences, even the physical world, are manifestations of consciousness.
So it's like consciousness is the canvas and the physical world is the painting.
Exactly. And this ties back to quantum physics. Remember how observing something can change it?
Yeah, like in the double slit experiment.
Campbell takes that idea and suggests that our consciousness is actually giving meaning to reality. It's not just passively observing, it's actively creating it.
Whoa, that's a huge idea. So we're not just characters in the game, we're co-creators.
And remember the NPMR, the non-physical matter reality?
Yeah, that's the larger reality beyond our physical senses.
Campbell sees the PMR, our physical world, as just a subset of the NPMR.
So the PMR is like a virtual reality created by the NPMR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where the idea of reality as a simulation comes in.
Okay, so he's saying we're living in a simulation.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
He compares it to a video game where we're the players, our bodies are avatars, and the physical world is the game environment.
So we're like characters in a giant cosmic video game.
And just like in a video game, there are rules that govern everything within the simulation. These rules are like the laws of physics.
So the laws of physics are just the game's programming.
Right. And what's really mind-blowing is that Campbell suggests we might be able to hack the rules of the game.
Hack the rules. You mean like cheat codes?
Kind of. He believes that by understanding the true nature of consciousness and reality, we might be able to bend the rules or even create new ones.
So we could potentially change the game itself.
Exactly. And this is where things get really exciting because it opens up a whole new realm of possibilities.
Okay, so this is a lot to take in. But before we go any further, I just want to remind you to like this video and subscribe to The Quantum Soul. We've got so much more to explore.
Yes, please subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment. We love hearing your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about consciousness and simulation. Now let's dive into the implications of Campbell's theory for our own lives.
This is where it gets really personal because if reality is a simulation, what does that mean for us as individuals?
Well, Campbell believes that the goal of life isn't just to win the game, it's to evolve our consciousness.
To level up, so to speak.
Exactly. And he teaches that we can do this by reducing our internal entropy.
Entropy, what's that?
It's a measure of disorder or randomness. He compares it to a messy room.
Okay, so reducing entropy is like tidying up our minds.
Right. And he says that we can reduce entropy by cultivating love, gratitude, and compassion.
Those are like the cleaning supplies for our minds.
And meditation is a key tool for this. He sees meditation as a way to clear out the mental clutter and connect with the NPMR.
So meditation is like our direct line to the source code.
And he also emphasizes the importance of reducing fear. He believes that fear is a major obstacle to our evolution.
Fear is like a virus that infects our minds.
Right. And he teaches that love is the antidote to fear.
So love is the antivirus.
Exactly. And he believes that by reducing fear and cultivating love, we can actually change the reality we experience.
Okay, that's a bold claim, but it makes sense if consciousness is creating reality.
Right. So the implications of his theory are huge. It means that we have the power to shape our own lives and even influence the world around us.
It's empowering, but also a bit daunting.
Definitely. Because it means we're responsible for our own evolution.
So no more blaming external forces, we're the ones in control.
Also offers practical guidance. He suggests that we can start by incorporating simple practices into our daily lives.
Like meditation, gratitude, and acts of kindness.
Yeah, those are like the building blocks of consciousness evolution.
So it's not just about understanding the theory, it's about putting it into practice.
And he believes that this can lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and even a deeper sense of purpose.
It's like we're not just playing the game, we're playing it with a purpose.
Exactly. So Campbell's theory of everything is more than just a mind-bending idea. It's a roadmap for a more meaningful life.
A guide to hacking the matrix.
And if you're ready to start hacking your own reality, be sure to check out our exclusive ebook on Thomas Campbell's theory. You'll find a link in the pinned comment below.
It's packed with insights and practical tips for applying his ideas to your own life.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to The Quantum Soul for more deep dives into the mysteries of consciousness and reality.
We've got a whole library of mind-expanding content waiting for you.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep evolving. The journey is just beginning.
And remember, the power to change your reality lies within you.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this incredible adventure.
Until next time, keep those minds open and those hearts full of love.
And who knows, maybe we'll even encounter a few glitches in the Matrix along the way.
No, that would be interesting.
It would.
Right now, 2 more videos are popping up on your screen. Click on the one that speaks to you and keep exploring with the Quantum Soul.
Thanks again, everyone.
Take care.